everyone, and welcome to Short Rest Gaming, and today we're here with another tournament, kids. Another tournament, just to preface this video. So I know the last video was a little bit icky looking. It didn't look great. I had to update my OBS, my open broadcasting system, because when I was like switching in between this and the Elgato for streaming, something got messed up with my audio, so the desktop audio wouldn't run through the computer or through OBS. So I updated it, and then all of my settings gone. So the video would look like crap. Either it would look like I was playing like an 8-bit video game, or it would be choppy. So after about I didn't really notice it at first, and then obviously once the video went out, I was like, ooh, let's fix that. So I finally got around to trying to fix it, and after about an hour of slamming stuff around on my desk, it's working again. I hope it's working again, at least. I haven't had any notifications about overload encoding going on. It's looking clean when I look on playback, so we should be good to go, guys. So thank you for that. I know we've been away for a little bit. That's just because I didn't want to deal with it, but we got to figure it out. But anyway, we're here with, for those of you who don't know, Moxieboosted, a fellow YouTuber, good friend of mine. He hosts tournaments, VGC tournaments, and some other tournaments every once in a while. And we were in, I think it was the last VGC tournament. I think he had like a multi-battle tournament in between. But we were in the Autumn Open, and we ended up winning that one with our double Blizzard team of Alolan Ninetales and Glaceon. So we got our team featured on this channel. We got a shiny Trevenant, all the fun stuff. So he now has the Winter Rumble back again, best of 3 VGC tournament. And I decided I'd enter, and I didn't make a specific team for this. We just did what we did last time and brought in a team that we were just using. So this is the same team that we saw in the EPL battle, the Mega Garchomp Sand team. I think it's a pretty decent team, and I haven't built my, what's it called? My Collinsville team yet. I don't think that would have brought it to this tournament even if I had, but yeah, and I didn't want to use my Dallas team again. So we already know what happened to the Dallas team. So we're here with that Mega Garchomp team. We get to feature a little bit more. And to start off the tournament, we do have a round robin. We were broken into 3 different groups, Group A, B, and C. We're in Group B, so we have to battle everybody in Group B, and then the top people will move on to the top cut area, where we'll continue to battle on. So in this first video, I'm going to show 3 of the battles. I think I have to do 3 or 4 more. So a best of 3. So we'll see some more of those. I'm going to try and commentate these as best I could. I did just do these battles, but it was a lot of them, and I was trying to fix OBS and all that fun stuff. But our first battle is up against To Thy For. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'll attempt to find Twitters for people. I don't think all of them have channels, because a lot of them come from Moxieboosted's Discord. If you guys want to join these tournaments in the future, I'll leave Moxieboosted's YouTube channel in the description below. You can go check him out so you can subscribe, and he always uploads a video when he's doing a tournament. Also, you can join his Discord, and while you're down there, you might as well like and subscribe if you have not already to this channel. But To Thy For is our first opponent. You can see on the screen that in the first match, he's bringing a Charizard, Landorus, Therian, Tapu Koko, and Bisharp. The rest of his team consists of Tapu Fini and Conkeldurr, while, of course, we are bringing the Gengar, Zapdos, Mega Garchomp, Tyranitar, and we also have, why don't I remember the last 2 Pokemon? Tapu Fini and Celesteela. So we're going to start off leading off with the Gengar Zapdos, while he leads off with Charizard and Landorus Therian. Let's see what we can do to deal with that. I have all my notes here that I took during the battle. Once we get to Top Cut, I will be doing these live. Just for, since there's so many battles at the beginning, I'm doing these post-narration. Plus, the Australia Internationals is going on right now, so I was watching those in between matches. It's a whole thing. But anyway, we got our leads going off here. We're going to see that Intimidate from the Landorus Therian. It's not going to be of any use because both of my Pokemon are special attackers, and Zapdos will exert its pressure here. So once Pokemon hit Zapdos with an attack, it uses 2 of its power points instead of 1. Charizard will Mega Evolve into the Mega Charizard Y, the typical Mega Evolution of Charizard. We do see Charizard X every once in a while, but Charizard Y is one of the more common ones. It's going to set up the Drought, intensifying the Sun's rays, boosting Fire-type moves and reducing Water-type. And then Landorus is just going to fire off an Earthquake. we do see that the Landorus is moving first, which means it is Choice Scarfed, because it doesn't naturally outspeed Gengar or Charizard. And I do have the Focus Sash on my Gengar. Since Gengar's new ability Levitate is gone, it now has Cursed Body. So, I mean, people ran Focus Sash on Gengar to begin with, but it just helps with those Earthquakes. So now I get an Icy Wind off. The Landorus is back down to neutral speed, while Charizard actually sets up a Tailwind here, which is going to increase my opponent's team's Pokemon speed by... It's going to double them, is what I'm trying to say there. I get to release a Thunderbolt into the Charizard, but even max special attack Modest is not enough to KO there. It lives on 1 HP. Landorus is going to switch out because it doesn't want to faint here, while Tapu Koko comes in, who's going to be able to take Hidden Power Ices and Icy Winds a lot better than Landorus will. And Charizard actually reveals that it has Flamethrower, the single target fire type move. It's going to take out Gengar here, and Gengar's Cursed Body will, its new ability that we're just talking about, will come into play and disable the Flamethrower, so Charizard cannot use Flamethrower for a couple of turns here. While my Zapdos will set up Tailwind to counteract my opponent's Tailwind. Now I can bring in my Tyranitar, who is Choice Scarfed, so we'll outspeed everything on the field here. We'll set up Sandstream, which will get rid of that Sun as well, which will boost all Rock-type Pokemon special defense, and it also does damage to any non-Rock, Ground, or Steel-type Pokemon in between turns. Bisharp, being a Steel-type coming in here, that beautiful shiny Bisharp there. And Tapu Koko is going to fire off a Volt Switch into Zapdos. It does over 50%, so I'm already kind of expecting this Tapu Koko to beat Choice Specs, because it shouldn't be doing that much to Zapdos. But during a lot of this tournament, I've been finding out Zapdos doesn't take the hits I want it to. It's not quite bulky enough, so I might have to relook into how I'm distributing the Zapdos EVs. I'm just going to fire off a Rock Slide with the Tyranitar, which will easily KO the Charizard because of its very low HP stat, but even at full, that would have KO'd that. And the Bisharp is going to be taking the Rock Slide and the Hidden Power Ice pretty neatly. I Hidden Power Ice there just in case Landorus wanted to switch back in. But Tapu Koko is actually going to come in here now. So I'll just fire off another Rock Slide with my Tyranitar. And with Zapdos, I actually go for Roost here just in case he went for that Sucker Punch like he did. Sucker Punch, of course, only landing if you use an attacking move. So that's why I roosted to heal my HP and also not taking damage from the Bisharp, because I didn't think I'd live Sucker Punch after how much that Volt Switch did. He does Volt Switch off on Tyranitar here, who is surprisingly able to take it without the sand. Now, Tyranitar is negative special defense nature, so those special attacks doing a lot more, especially without the sand boosting my special defense. And Rock Slide at -1 is not going to be able to do a lot to these two. But I am able to roost up my Zapdos, regaining my HP, so now I can take a Sucker Punch. My opponent's Tailwind is going to peter out here, which means I have Tailwind and he doesn't, so both my Pokemon will be faster than his. But I do want to switch out my Tyranitar because it's not going to be doing a whole lot here, and it's easily going to be picked up by a Sucker Punch. But the Bisharp does decide to protect instead. While my Zapdos, I'm going to go for the Z move, the Gigavolt Havoc off of a Thunderbolt into the Bisharp, so even though it did protect, it's still going to be taking some damage here. Unfortunately, because Zapdos is a flying type, it doesn't get the boost from the electric terrain that is on the field. I also like how I'm trying to do a commentary that both helps with newer players and veteran players, but it's kind of making a muddled mix that doesn't really make sense now that I'm saying it, but we're going to do what we can. So Rock Slide will fire off from the Landorus. It does miss Garchomp. Not that it really would have mattered, because Garchomp is the ground type, so it does resist Rock-type moves. While Zapdos takes that a lot better than I thought it would, considering how much damage we've been taking this whole game. I will reveal that my Garchomp is Mega Garchomp here. This way we can take damage a little bit better with Garchomp's boost defenses, especially with the Sucker Punch from the Bisharp coming out here. And then Landorus will fire off a Rock Slide. Now, I need both my Pokemon to live and none of them to flinch. Garchomp taking that amazingly well. But I need to not flinch with either Pokemon here. Garchomp does not flinch, get the Earthquake off, which will take out Bisharp. So no more Sucker Punch shenanigans from that thing. And then Zapdos just needs to not flinch here, since he did live on 2 HP, and I can fire off my Hidden Power Ice into the Landorus. Actually, no, wait, I Tailwinded. I lied, I'm a liar. I actually Tailwinded that turn, so now my Garchomp and my Zapdos will outspeed both Pokemon on my opponent's side of the field. And it should just be the Landorus and the Tapu Koko left, so this turn I can now Earthquake and Hidden Power Ice, and that should be the game 1 to us. Mega Garchomp, showing why he's still useful. Typically, people are going to be running normal Garchomp over Mega Garchomp, just because when you Mega Evolve into Garchomp, you lose speed. You do increase your attack stat, but that loss of speed just isn't ideal to a lot of people. Plus, you lose your item as well. So a lot of people look at Mega Garchomp to be a lot less viable than normal Garchomp, and I tend to agree with that. But if you put Mega Garchomp in position, he's rocking. He is rocking out. So we're going to get the next battle here. So this is battle 2 of a best of 3. We can see my opponent's team already. This time I led with the sand lead of Tyranitar and Mega Garchomp, bringing Gengar and Zapdos in the back, while my opponent led with Tapu Koko and Landorus Therian, with Conkeldurr and Charizard in the back. So Conkeldurr new to the field this match, while my opponent changes up their lead, as do I. So let's see what becomes of this battle here. So Tapu Koko, Landorus Therian. Intimidate support for Tapu Koko, while Tapu Koko is just really fast with the choice specs, increasing his special defense, taking that hindrance of only being able to use one move. So the Intimidate does affect my Garchomp, and it kind of affects my Tyranitar. For those of you who don't know, my Tyranitar is mixed. The only physical move it does have is Rock Slide. The rest of them are special. But we already know that this Landorus is Choice Scarfed, so it's going to be outspeeding my Tyranitar, which isn't the best position for it. I'm going to switch out my Garchomp, though, because I don't want to get Dazzling Gleam by that Tapu Koko. For Zapdos, he's going to U-turn into the Tyranitar here, which is going to do a ton of damage, unfortunately. Again, my Tyranitar is not very bulky. It's max speed, max special attack. Or, wait, no. It's max speed, 60 in special attack. The rest dumped in special attack, yeah, and the rest dumped into attack. Tyranitar, unfortunately, going to be fainting this turn, but we do have the sand up. We just have to make sure we can get around Charizard for the rest of the match. Give Garchomp some time to Earthquake here, and Conkeldurr actually came in while the Landorus U-turned out. I don't like my Conkeldurr matchup here. I mean, Tyranitar's already gone, which was the 4 times weak Pokemon to Conkeldurr. But Conkeldurr typically carry like Ice Punch, Knock Off, so Gengar and Garchomp aren't going to enjoy those. We're going to see Dazzling Gleam once again. I protected with my Garchomp. I have to hope I can get a Tailwind up, so then I can outspeed this Tapu Koko, which I do. I get that nice, beautiful Tailwind up. So now both my Pokemon should outspeed here, and Conkeldurr actually Ice Punches into the Zapdos. Most likely because my opponent probably just already knew that Choice Specs Dazzling Gleam KOs Garchomp. I'm pretty sure it does, at least. So, Sandstorm, going to be ticking away at those two a little bit, and then I get to bring out Gengar here. Now, with Gengar, I can Sludge Bomb this Tapu Koko, or I can Shadow Ball / Sludge Bomb the Conkeldurr, which I decided to do, and I believe I Mega Evolve Earthquake here, even though there is a Landorus in the back. This game is pretty much a wash already at this point. My opponent's lead was really well switched up, and it worked out against my switch up of a lead, too. I think it's so, my opponent, like, if we look back on the first game where I led Tapu Koko and Zapdos, or not Tapu Koko, Gengar and Zapdos, I think that still would have been a really good lead for my opponent to do what they did. Oh, I actually Dragon Claw this turn. I didn't Earthquake myself. But it's still not quite enough while Ice Punch comes out. Had I Earthquaked, I don't even think that would have KO'd, even with the Sand Force boost, because we did get intimidated. And Ice Punch is going to one-hit KO Garchomp any which way. And the Sand will, of course, break my Focus Sash. Now, I could just forfeit here, give my opponent the win, but I'll let them take another KO here. I go for the Icy Wind with Gengar. I'll let them get their nice clean win. They deserved it. They played really well. Icy Wind actually does quite a bit of damage to Landorus, which is kind of nice to see. But the Landorus will Earthquake, and fortunately we do not get 4-0'd because the Conkeldurr will faint. I didn't KO anything else this match, did I? No, because Tapu Koko switched out. So my opponent making it a 3-0 instead of a 4-0. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And that will bring us into Game 3, the deciding game for our very first matchup in this Winter Rumble. And we're going to see my opponent brings the same team, and I switch it up just a little bit. So Zapdos has been taking way too much damage. I do like the speed control it helps me get with Tailwind, But Gengar was putting in Icy Wind work really well, which I think will also play us dividends here. So Icy Wind is my only speed control, while I do have Choice Scarf Tyranitar. And then I'm bringing Tapu Fini this time because that's a really good answer to Conkeldurr, who was kind of messing us up that last battle. And then Mega Garchomp will show up as well. So we're going to hop into this one. My opponent bringing the same lead, same team, as you can see from the screen there. You can see somebody already watched this match too. I wonder who it was. Somebody already watched my match. We do upload all the match results to a Discord server so that people can see. So you can scout if you really want to. I haven't scouted anybody yet. Haven't felt the need to. It's a for fun tournament. It's not like you're getting CP off of this thing. It'd be crazy if you could though, right? But anyway, we do see the Tapu Koko Landorus there in lead. I also like my Tapu Fini as a lead because that means I get to get rid of the Electric Surge from Tapu Koko, reducing its already huge electric type attacks with that choice specs. I will just protect my Tapu Fini here because I'm trying to see if I can trap that Tapu Koko in here. Because I'm assuming it's going to try and Volt Switch, and I assume it'd go off the Fini. Rock Slide actually misses my Gengar, which is really fortunate, and he does try to Volt Switch my Tapu Fini. So my Gengar getting a free Icy Wind off since the Rock Slide did miss. It's going to drop the speed of the Landorus back down to its neutral speed, as if it never had a Choice Scarf to begin with, and then Tapu Koko's speed falls as well. So now Gengar will outspeed Tapu Koko. And it will outspeed the Landorus, but it won't outspeed the Fini will not outspeed the Landorus. So Conkeldurr actually switches in. I'm just going to go for a Sludge Bomb with Gengar, where Tapu Koko was. In case it tried to stay in, it didn't. And the Landorus is going to fire off another Rock Slide, which is fine. My Gengar's outspeeding, as long as it doesn't flinch my Fini while I try and go for a Calm Mind here, which it does not. So I get a nice little Calm Mind off with Fini, so now we can be putting in that damage, increasing our special attack and special defense. Now this turn, with Gengar, I'll just Icy Wind so I can KO the Landorus. I could have went for a Shadow Ball into Landorus to try and just get a clean KO without missing Icy Wind. But just in case something wanted to switch in there, then I get to drop the speed again. Like the Tapu Koko. If Tapu Koko wanted to try and come in again, I would drop the speed. And I can just Moonblast the Conkeldurr for a nice clean double KO here. Conkeldurr will faint. And now in will come the Tapu Koko and the Charizard as my opponent's final two Pokemon. Here, I decide if I remove the Tapu Koko, I've won the match because I have Choice Scarf Tyranitar in the back, which will outspeed the Charizard, one-hit KO it. So if I just double Tapu Koko here, I should be able to KO. Because Dazzling Gleam will not KO either of my Pokemon. Gengar resisting Dazzling Gleam and Tapu Fini having a +1 special defense. And then he's not going to discharge against his own Charizard. We've seen Volt Switch, and I believe we've seen Thunderbolt. If not, we're going to see it this turn, because spoilers, he's going to go for Thunderbolt. And I don't know what the final move was on that Tapu Koko, but he's gonna opt to go for the Gengar, thinking that maybe I'll protect my Tapu Fini here, possibly. And Charizard's going to try and set up the Tailwind, but that's not going to save him at this point, because now Tapu Fini, with a +1 Moonblast, is easily going to KO this Tapu Koko here, which is just beautiful. Which now leaves Charizard to face down a Tapu Fini, which is a water type, Garchomp, who's a dragon type, and Tyranitar, who's a rock type. I'm going to bring in the Garchomp. I could have just brought in Tyranitar and Rock Slid, because Charizard shouldn't have been able to do anything to it. But just to be safe, we can stall out Tailwind and Sun here. I mean, as soon as Tyranitar comes in, the Sun's gone anyway. But we can stall out some Tailwind turns here. Charizard does reveal that it has Solar Beam, which it's going to hit Tapu Fini with. This turn, I actually double set up, which I didn't need to, but it gives me a little bit of safer cards here, because now Garchomp is at +2 attack, so it threatens a one-hit KO, and Tapu Fini is going to be +2 special attack, +2 special defense, so it's going to be eating up any hits from this Charizard, and increasing its Muddy Water damage, so that the Sun isn't mattering as much. This turn, Charizard's going to Flamethrower into the Garchomp, probably hoping for a burn, because Dragon does resist that fire typing. Even in the Sun, does so much damage. And Dragon Claw will be the one-hit KO on the Garchomp. the Charizard, which will guarantee our Game 1 victory here. So currently, we are 1-0 in this Winter Rumble. But we have 2 more best-of-3s to show you guys today. I know it's going to be long, but we got to get through these suckers. That's why I wanted to do them post-battle. They're a little bit faster this way. I was going to not commentate, but I figured I'd talk to you guys a little bit since we haven't had a video in a while. But our next battle was against Arctic VGC. I'm trying to remember the other name. Luca. Arctic VGC / Luca. Goes by Alyssa in game. We're going to see one of those popular Trick Room variants of Mimikyu, Mega Camerupt, Amoonguss, Staraptor, Snorlax, and Reuniclus. We can see my opponent is leading Mimikyu, Staraptor, has Snorlax and Camerupt in the back, while I lead Gengar, Tyranitar, Garchomp, and Tapu Fini. I was going to lead Gengar and Celesteela because that effectively stops the Staraptor's final gambit. For those of you who don't know, Staraptor is on Trick Room teams because you lead it as a Choice Scarf. And then it uses the attack Final Gambit, which does the same amount of HP damage to the opponent as Staraptor has. And typically you're going to max out the Staraptor's HP. I believe it maxed out 179. I could be incorrect on that. I had to look it up as I did this battle because I'm like, oh, I don't know which of my Pokemon can live that. Tyranitar cannot because I don't have any HP investment in it. But my opponent also doesn't know that. So that's why we have Tyranitar and Gengar as a lead. Celesteela, I think, is my only Pokemon that can. And Gengar is immune because it's a normal type move. Or fighting type. It's one of those two. And then Garchomp, Fini in the back. Fini for the Camerupt. Garchomp just to put out damage. So let's get into this battle here. Also, sorry there's no cool bottom screen for you guys. You just get to see how many turns we're into. Yeah, we'll have a cool bottom screen once we get into the top cut. So, Mimikyu Staraptor, of course, we already knew, leads off for my opponent, while I lead Gengar and Tyranitar. We do see the Intimidate from the Staraptor, typical for the Trick Room Staraptor. So, my Tyranitar is not going to be doing as much damage as I would like. And also, I'm gonna attempt to taunt on the Mimikyu. This was actually a really weird play for me. We're going to see U-turn from the Staraptor into the Gengar, which will break my Focus Sash. What I should have done here is something like what I should have done, because Tyranitar is the fastest thing. I should have Rock Slide. Rock Slide was fine as long as I hit the Mimikyu, which I do. So it's gonna break Mimikyu's disguise, so now it can take damage. And I should have just straight up Shadow Ball this Mimikyu and KO'd it with Gengar, and not had a problem. But what I did instead was taunt, which ends up working out because both Mimikyu doesn't have a Mental Herb, and we flinch with Rock Slide. So we got lucky that the Mimikyu's item was something else. I don't know what item it is, possibly the Z move. But yeah, so we got lucky there. But now I can just keep firing off Rock Slides with Tyranitar, get some flinches possibly. And I'm going to taunt Snorlax here because I don't want it setting up a Belly Drum or a Curse, because Curse did get patched, guys. So Curse Snorlax is now back in the meta. But Mimikyu actually just goes for Play Rough here. Into Tyranitar, we are able to live it, and then Snorlax also goes for High Horsepower, which will be into my Gengar, which is going to KO it. We do get a cheeky little Curse bodied off, disabling that High Horsepower for a few turns, but I don't think Snorlax needs to go for it anymore. Tyranitar is low enough that just normal moves will KO it, and I don't have anything else weak to ground type moves. But now I'm going to bring in Garchomp. We're in the sand. I can just fire off Sand Force Earthquakes with my Garchomp. And I'm actually going to switch Tyranitar out because I think he'll still be useful in the long run. He is Choice Scarfed. Right now he's Intimidated, so he's not doing as much damage as he could. While my Fini is max defense, so it's going to be able to take these Earthquakes fairly well. It's not going to enjoy them, but it's going to take them better than Tyranitar would. So we will Mega Evolve the Garchomp here. This Earthquake will guarantee KO the Mimikyu. I'm not sure on the Snorlax. I'm hoping it will, but we'll see. So Earthquake comes out here from the Garchomp. And it's not going to KO the Snorlax, so we know that Snorlax has got some bulk in him. And Snorlax is, of course, going to eat its big boy berry, the Figgy Berry, I believe it is, on the Snorlax, healing 50% of its HP. And Snorlax will go for Frustration into the Tapu Fini slot, who's going to eat that up. Snorlax does not have its attack boost yet, so max defense Fini is just going to eat up those frustrations. Staraptor will now come in, trying to be sly and intimidate my Garchomp, but I know Garchomp's going to be the one that finishes out this match. So I'm actually going to switch Garchomp out for Tyranitar. I'm figuring the final Gambit's coming out from that Staraptor that we've been talking about. So Tyranitar can faint all at once because it's almost dead as it is, and Staraptor's going to KO itself. It's the unfortunate thing about Final Gambit, but it can help Trick Room be set up a lot of the time. But not this time. Staraptor will faint, as well as Tyranitar, which is fine. Again, Tyranitar is done what it needs to do. And since my opponent's Mimikyu is gone, it has nothing to set up Trick Room, because unless there's a Reuniqueless. We know there's no Reuniqueless, but I didn't during the battle, because you can't see your opponent's Pokemon while you're battling. But the Snorlax's frustration will go into Tapu Fini, which does just enough damage for us to eat our big boy berry, the Wiki Berry, healing 50% of our HP. And the taunt will finally wear off on the Snorlax, but I think it's a little too late, kids. Camerupt is going to come in for my opponent, and my Garchomp will come back in. I'm pretty safe here to set up a Swords Dance and just Muddy Water. This way, if Camerupt wants to try to attack here, it should just get KO'd by Muddy Water as long as we connect. And the Snorlax has to set up its belly drum to be able to do any kind of damage to my Garchomp, so I'm free to set up here. Camerupt is going to protect this turn, though, continuing to keep the spread damage spread. So here's my free Swords Dance. While the Snorlax, now that it's not taunted, I don't know if it attacks here or if it sets up, but I do go for Muddy Water with Tapu Fini. It does connect with the Snorlax. Camerupt, of course, protected itself. And no special defense drop, but we do see the recycle of the Figgy Berry, so Snorlax now has its berry back. So Garchomp did get a free Swords Dance. The sand does disappear, which gets rid of my Sand Force, but we're +2, so we're doing what we can. I'm going to protect Tapu Fini here just so I don't KO myself this turn. That way I can keep Tapu Fini around for another turn. And Earthquake should easily pick up the Camerupt. I'm not sure on the Snorlax here, but it is more than enough KOing Snorlax. So game 1 goes to us against Arctic VGC and their Trick Room team. We're going to be moving on to game 2 to see if we can pick up an early win or if we have to go into 3 games. So backing out right into it. Didn't even look. I think I brought the same team while my opponent brought Staraptor, Reuniqueless as the Trick Room side of this time. Snorlax and Camerupt. Oh no, I brought Celesteela this time. Did I leave Tyranitar? No, I brought Tyranitar. I brought Tyranitar, Garchomp, Celesteela, and Gengar. I left Tapu Fini at home this time. So Gengar, Celesteela. Because, again, Celesteela lives Final Gambit. And with the Reuniqueless being here, I'm going to double into it here with Shadow Ball and Heavy Slam, hoping that that's enough, even after Intimidate to KO. So Trick Room would be gone. Staraptor is going to Final Gambit here. I am max HP Celesteela, so we live in that, boys. So I live with 12 from 204. So is that 192 that Staraptor maxes out at? Quick maths. Shadow Ball into the Reuniqueless does almost 75% it looks like, and then Heavy Slam into the Reuniqueless. We're going to see if we can get this KO, so no Trick Room. It lives on like 1 HP, so I don't know if that was a roll between the 2 attacks or if the Intimidate actually mattered. But Reuniqueless will get off its Z Trick Room here. So Z Trick Room does boost your accuracy and also gets up the Trick Room. It also gets around Taunt. That's why I didn't bother taunting with Gengar, because I knew it was going to be Z Reuniqueless. They always are. And Celesteela will get a little bit of baby leftovers here. But now this puts this Camerupt in a perfect position, because Camerupt's going to be the fastest thing on the field. And Heat Wave or Eruption, which is what this Camerupt's going to be carrying, will KO Celesteela no problem and bring Gengar down to its Focus Sash, which I'm trying to remember if my opponent saw first game or not. What did they... No, they didn't see my Focus Sash first game, but it doesn't matter because the Reuniqueless can just attack. Double attack here. It's pretty safe. So here comes the Eruption. I'm hoping for Curse Bodied from Gengar. We never get the Curse Body when we need it, though, boys. Focus Sash will hang on, but no Curse Body. Psychic from the Reuniqueless is going to pick up the Gengar. Curse Body activates here. Not that I need it for the Reuniqueless Psychic. It's helpful, but I don't think I really needed it. So Celesteela will get a little more leftovers recovery here. And now I bring in Garchomp, because Garchomp's going to be able to take Eruptions from Camerupt. It's not going to enjoy it, but it should take it. And the Reuniqueless no longer has Psychic, so it's going to have a harder time taking care of Garchomp as well. The Camerupt does switch out for the Snorlax, though. And I'm going to Mega Evolve with my Garchomp. I'm pretty free to just Earthquake here. And I'm going to attempt to protect the Celesteela. Celesteela's just here to try and stall a Trick Room turns. Unfortunately, I do not get the double protect. Of course, protect dropping to 50% chance once you've used it in succession, and Focus Blast is going to hit Celesteela now that Reuniclus's accuracy is up. And then I just Earthquake. I probably should have Swords Danced here or something along those lines to stall out more turns of Trick Room protect possibly. But I do KO the Reuniclus, which gives Camera Up to free switch in, which is why I should have stalled more Trick Room turns. Because we've seen Trick Room, Psychic, Focus Blast. That was turn 3 of Trick Room, so we had 2 more turns to go. So I'm going to bring in my Tyranitar. And at this point, again, the Snorlax isn't set up, and I should live anything from the Camera Up. If he doubles Garchomp, I don't know. But Camera Up actually protects this turn. And Snorlax, I believe, Belly Drums. Yep. So this turn, I went for Rock Slide with Tyranitar and Swords Dance. I wanted to get set up with the Garchomp as quickly as I could, because I need to get rid of these Pokemon as quick as I can. So there's Snorlax, Figgy Berry, and I'm going to Swords Dance with Garchomp, like I had previously stated. And then I Rock Slide with the Tyranitar here. Now this next turn, I don't think I make the optimal play. I actually put myself in a pretty terrible position doing this. But what I do is protect with my Garchomp, because I'm expecting Snorlax to attack. I was kind of on the fence in between Snorlax attacking and it using Recycle to get its berry back. It turns out it's the latter. So I protected the Garchomp because I don't want to get returned. The Earth Power, no doubt, is going to KO my Tyranitar. And then the Snorlax is going to go for Recycle. So now it's back up to full health. Had I just Earthquake there with Garchomp, we would have been looking beautiful. Because Trick Room ends this turn. I would have KO'd the Camera Up without a worry. And Snorlax would have been brought back down to really low health. And then I could have just Earthquaked at the next turn, because we would then be the fastest Pokemon. Now I have to hope for a roll. I wasn't sure if it was a roll or not. I found out pretty quickly after the battle for my opponent's not so pleasedness that it was a 43.8% chance to one-hit or to KO Snorlax from that range. So we got lucky. I mean, we are +2 Sand Force Garchomp, but it still was not doing enough damage to be guaranteed KO. But we do get it, so that's going to be a nice round 2 win for us. So we are currently 2-0. 2-0, kids. And we have one more battle. I know, it's a long one. If you guys have stuck it out for this long, and you haven't liked or subscribed yet, please do so. Also, in the comment section, what's going to be our secret word in the comment section? If you stuck it out for this long, type Mega Chomp is best chomp. Mega Chomp is best chomp in the chat if you stuck it out for this long. We got one more best of 3, and let's see if we can make it a nice clean 2-battle best of 3 versus Josh VGC, whose team consists of Mega Kangaskhan, Naga Nadal, however you want to say that. We're going to go with Naga for the rest of the battle. Landor Starion, Heatran, Tapu Fini, and Cresselia, while, of course, I have the same team. I'm going to bring Gengar, Zapdos, Tyranitar, and Mega Garchomp to this first battle. That team's very familiar, I'm sure, by now. We bring this composition a lot. While my opponent's going to lead with Landor Starion and Kangaskhan, with Tapu Fini and Heatran in the back. Okay, I guess Heatran was for Celesteela. So, let's hop into this battle here. Of course, I didn't bring Celesteela, so the Heatran's not going to be doing a lot here. But, let's see what it can do. So, we got Trainer Josh with that Komodo armor. I don't like that it doesn't have an undershirt. It's kind of weird. And the shorts. These characters like 12, aren't they? But anyway, Kangaskhan Landor Starion comes in while I bring in Gengar Zapdos. We see double shiny from my opponent. The alternate color pattern. Of course, again, the Intimidate not going to matter on these two, which is why I like leading them against Landorses. And we're going to try and figure out some speed tiers on Pokemon here. We do see that Kangaskhan actually just protects no Mega Evolution, which is kind of strange. I was kind of thinking maybe it would be Scrappy Fake Out so it could hit Gengar, but it's not. Gengar does move first, which does confirm that the Landorus is not Choice Scarfed. And Icy Wind does a heck ton of damage, about 75%, which also confirms it's not a Assault Vest variant. It does just go for Earthquake, so we aren't sure on the item on the Landorus yet. Could be a Choice Band, could be Groundium or Flyinium, or It's not Life Orb because we don't see the Life Orb damage. Focus Sash, Expert Belt, all the fun things. And I just get to set up a Tailwind with Zapdos. Double speed control here, dropping the speed of my opponent while increasing my speed as well. We do see the Kangaskhan Mega Evolve here. And now that we are, my team is faster than his, I'm just going to fire off an Electrium Z into this Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan does go for Sucker Punch this turn, KOing my poor little Gengar, who only had 1 HP. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. He had 1 HP. So Landorus is going to be able to move for free here since Gengar is now gone. And Zapdos is focusing on to the Kangaskhan. With the mighty Z move, Electrium Z. Have we seen a Z? Oh, we did see. We saw Z Trick Room in round 2. We didn't see a Z move in the first game, I don't think. No, I don't remember seeing a Z move. I don't even know who had the Z move, to be honest with you. And then game 2, we saw the Trick Room, and we haven't seen one from my opponent yet. It could be the Landorus. We're assuming the Landorus at this point. And we're going to see Rock Slide, which does an actual crap ton. That is single target, so that makes sense. Now that I'm seeing it. When I first saw it, I'm like, holy buckets, that does too much damage, but it was single target Rock Slide, so that makes a little more sense. Landorus is now going to switch out, being that... Also, we didn't KO the Kangaskhan, which is kind of annoying, but you do what you can. Tapu Fini actually switches in for the Landorus, probably expecting a Hidden Power Ice or something along those lines, maybe Dragon Claw from the Garchomp. And we're going to see Sucker Punch from Kangaskhan, which just misses KOing the Zapdos. I'm like, dear lord, my Zapdos taking way too much damage. And Dragon Claw will pick up the KO on the Kangaskhan. I don't want to show off that I'm Mega Garchomp yet. I'm pretty sure my opponent already knew because we were talking about it in chat. And we do actually critically hit the Tapu Fini with the Hidden Power Ice, so my opponent did call Hidden Power Ice. And Landorus is going to come back in to decrease my Garchomp's attack stat. But yeah, I didn't want to show, if he didn't know I had Mega Garchomp, I didn't want him knowing right now, because then you worry a little more about speed and stuff. But especially if you have Tyranitar on the team, they kind of like, ooh, either use Sandvale or use Mega, or both. So I'm going to bring in my Tyranitar now, just get up my Sand. Not too worried because my opponent's team is pretty slow for the rest of this. He's going to actually switch Tapu Fini out for Heatran. And I believe I just Hidden Power Ice. Landorus Protect, sorry. So I could have hit him. No, I roosted. Tailwind. Oh, roosted. I roosted, healing my HP because Zapdos is really freaking low. And I would have KO'd myself with Sandstorm there. So now my Zapdos is looking a lot healthier. And my Tailwind does now peter out, unfortunately. So, Heatran will protect this turn. Trying to save itself from Lord knows what. My Tyranitar is just going to fire off a Rock Slide. Because I am Choice Scarf, I do outspeed this Landorus. So that could be useful in later matches. But Rock Slide is enough to KO Landorus here, so no need to do Ice Beams or anything crazy like that. I still want to be able to hit the other two Pokemon, which both resist Ice Beam. And I try and get a Thunderbolt off in the Heatran, but it's not going to happen. Now, I am faster than the rest of his team, so I don't have to set up Tailwind anymore. My Zapdos has, I think it's like 12 EVs in speed, just enough to outspeed things that are outspeeding neutral Zapdos. But we do see Rock Slide, Connect, and Thunderbolt. So we are faster than Tapu Fini and Heatran, which is good to note for future reference. We also KO that Fini with the combination of Rock Slide, Thunderbolt. Don't know if we need the Rock Slide to KO, but again, notes to take for the rest of the games. He's going to Earth Power, which only does 50% to my Tyranitar, which is really nice. So that gives me another turn to Rock Slide and Thunderbolt this thing. He's not going to bother protecting. Really no reason to at this point. That would just give me free roosts, really, if he was protecting. But even the combination of Rock Slide, Thunderbolt, after a Thunderbolt and Rock Slide, I was like, that's been 2 of each on them, hasn't it? The T-Tran's taking those hits. But we do have Garchomp in the back, so I'm not worried. He Earth Powered to KO the Tyranitar there. Mist is going to disappear from the battlefield, not that it mattered. But now Garchomp comes in, and I can just Earthquake. I believe I stay normal Garchomp for this too. Because again, you don't want to give your opponent too much information. We do get the information that it is Shuckle Berry Heatran. Most Heatrans do carry Shuckle Berry, but it's always good to know, because sometimes they have like Grassium Z, Firium Z, Expert Belt. They usually don't have Expert Belt, but I ran it at one point. It was pretty good. Choice Scarf. So we know it's Shuckle Berry, so we might have to chip that Heatran in the future if we battle again. We're going to go on to game 2, which we don't see the Heatran. We do see the Naganadel, Naganadel, come in place of that Heatran, but the same Pokemon from my opponent. And I bring the same Pokemon too, but instead of leading with Zapdos, I lead with Tyranitar. So let's see if that's able to change it up. The reason I led with Tyranitar here was in case the Landorus did want to show up again. I can Choice Scarf Ice Beam it, because we've already determined it's not Assault Vest, and it's not Choice Scarf. So that'll give Landorus a free, Tyranitar a free KO here. And I wanted to lead Gengar, because, again, we saw Protect from Kangaskhan, so I don't think it has Fake Out. But if it is Scrappy Fake Out, then my Gengar is sitting there threatening the Icy Wind. So I wanted to try and draw Fake Outs away from Tyranitar, so we could get the KO on the Landorus. And if he fakes out Tyranitar, then Icy Wind him. Whew. Gotta stop and take a breath every once in a while. Kangaskhan is just gonna go for the Protect here. Probably Earthquake coming out from the Landorus, but again, we're Choice Scarf, so we're faster. Ice Beam, it's gonna one-hit KO the Landorus. No Focus Sash, so maybe Z-Move. I still don't know that item on that Landorus. Maybe I'll go and check out some of his battles and see if I can figure out that item. But Icy Wind gonna hit into the Protect. I break my own Sash, you know, just for fun, really. And now Tapu Fini is going to come out from my opponent. So my Tyranitar is in a terrible position, being weak to the Water Fairy type enough. Tapu Fini and being stuck into Ice Beam on 2 Pokemon that aren't weak to it, one of them resisting. I'm going to get Tyranitar the heck out of here for Zapdos, who we've seen doesn't like taking hits, but it's going to take it better than everything else on my team. And with the Gengar, I don't know what I go for. I think I go for Taunt, expecting the Kangaskhan to try and Sucker Punch. And I also don't know what this Tapu Fini set is, so I want to stop it from setting up any Calm Minds if it has the chance. Again, Sucker Punch not working if you are using non-attacking moves, which Taunt is non-attacking, and it stops your opponent from using non-attacking moves. So my opponent does go for Hydro Pump, which pretty much confirms his choice specs, especially with how much damage that did to my poor Zapdos. In this turn, I just double Fini, I'm pretty sure. Because again, this Kangaskhan's going to Sucker Punch something. I could have Roosted or Tailwinded with Zapdos this turn, which probably would have been a better play, but I got really scared of that Fini because that Choice Spec's doing so much damage. So Sucker Punch going to KO my poor Zapdos, and Gengar, I just go for Sludge Bomb into the Tapu Fini, just try and get as much damage as I can off on this thing. Unfortunately, just short of a KO, and Hydro Pump does fortunately miss Gengar this turn, leaving him on the field for another turn. Kangaskhan going to be buffeted. Of course, Gengar will faint to a Sucker Punch anytime that comes flying out from Kangaskhan. But now I bring in Tyranitar. We are choiced, so I can just Rock Slide here, KO the Fini, put some damage on the Kangaskhan. And we don't see Sucker Punch. Fini actually avoids the Rock Slide, which is just terrible, because that means it's going to have another chance to fire off a Hydro Pump here. Gengar goes for Sludge Bomb into the Kangaskhan, because I thought Fini would be dead at this point. Unfortunately, we didn't miss. And Low Kick comes out from Kangaskhan because we missed the KO on that as well. Tyranitar is going to faint that, being 4 times super effective and a pretty heavy Pokemon. Low Kick, of course, dealing its damage according to the heaviness of the opposing Pokemon. And fortunately, Fini misses another Hydro Pump. So Gengar's still out here. He's still bopping around. Sandstorm misses the KO on Kangaskhan, but it should pick up the Fini, which it does. And that leaves my opponent's back Pokemon and their Kangaskhan. So I bring in Garchomp. We've already seen it's Naganadel, and that's a terrible, terrible matchup for me. So Naganadel's faster, and it's a Dragon type. It should just be able to KO my Garchomp while the Kangaskhan Sucker Punches. So I could have predicted that, or I could have just taken this to game 3. So I just go for Earthquake and Icy Wind. The Naganadel actually snarls, which Garchomp will eat up, and Gengar is actually going to be able to take. Fortunately, and Kangaskhan did not Sucker Punch here. So Gengar gets off its Icy Wind. I shouldn't have Icy Winded, man. I should have Sludge Bombed. 100%. I should have Sludge Bombed the Kangaskhan so I didn't miss it. But we do fortunately hit. Actually, no, wait. Earthquake would have KO'd it anyway. But, yeah. Kangaskhan faints, and then the Mighty Earthquake from Garchomp in the sand is an easy KO on this Poison Dragon type Naganadel. And my own Gengar. So Garchomp going to sweep the field. He wants to be the only one standing in this final battle. Well, not this final battle. The final battle of this video. We still have a few more to do for this round robin part of the tournament. I'm going to keep those till tomorrow, though. Yeah, I think my opponent really misplayed that last turn. They could have won it there, taken it to game 3. But, hey, what can you do? Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes you misplay. I misplay all the time. So, anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Again, if you stuck through all the way through this video, be sure to put Mega Chomp, his best chomp, in the the comments. Like and subscribe if you have not already. Check out all the descriptions in all of the links in the description. There should be one for Moxieboosted Marcos's channel, so you can check out future tournaments and his really great content. And then any links like Twitters or stuff I can find from my opponents, I will put there as well. Otherwise, guys, we'll see you in the next video. I might put this team as a QR code. Let me know if you want to see this team as a QR code as well. This is another way to let me know that even more of you stuck it out till the very end. If you want to see this team as a QR code, let me know down in the comment section below so you can try this team out for yourself. And we'll see you guys next time. Stay sharp, everyone.